Yeah, because people like Memorial Day. I'm like, you don't say that.
Somebody put a shout out to the patriotic bucket.
Exactly. That part. Right?
And on that note, let's get this episode started. I want to welcome you to the More Than You Can Handle podcast crew. I am the one and only JC the comedian, also known as Wanted, the Mel Exotic entertainer. Mr. Stripper, still your girl. I'm gonna be nice today. Oh, I make her laugh first.
I am Conscious Brother 22 times. I've shown up for the people. Go ahead, Percy.
If you don't know, now you know. It's your boy RC, aka Felicia Me Now. Thank you later. Yes.
Wow.
And we are here with our esteemed guest, Revive.
Dictionary is here.
The sources.
It was the esteem.
Yes, the esteem. I like that.
Still got a Webster's.
Oh yeah, intros is very interesting.
Oh no, I had to catch up to them too. They pushed me under the table. You ain't hear his Halloween intro.
Oh yes. I was Spooky Booty that day, wasn't I?
He was Spooky Booty, and he was Officer.
I was Officer Short Shorts.
Oh, Officer Short Shorts. Yeah.
I was out.
He had the Hoochie Daddy shorts on.
I can't say that.
It's a thing now, so I
It's
not a thing.
He refused to accept it.
This might be a thing downtown. Yeah, that's not a thing for me. You ain't catching me with no shorts on that's above my knees. Gotta come to my kneecaps.
Even in your performance?
That's different. Don't make me change the subject.
Okay. Too fast, too quick.
So we are here today on Memorial Day at Ladder 15 with our esteemed guest, Revive.
You want to say it again?
Esteemed guest. Are you not esteemed? I haven't seen the accomplishments now. I haven't seen the accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know the intro, then you need to, get out your house. You know what I'm saying? Yup. And
That's already what time it is. It's your girl. See, I'm the founder and host of Revive Radio, plus Revive Media. We are a media production company here in the city of Philadelphia and beyond. We do so much from covering everything from politics, entertainment, to sitting here with folks and beyond, because we actually interview these guys. That's how we connected.
That's how we got on the radio the first time.
Yeah, that was dope.
Making sure we just bring a platform that's for the people and about the people, and then making sure we're educating and re-educating our listening audience to make sure that they understand that it's a platform for them to be seen and also to be heard at the same time. Small plug, Revive is Alive, ReviveIsAlive.com. It's Revive_POC, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all that good stuff. And I appreciate you all for having me. Thank you for that one.
It's not a small plug. I want you to plug yourself here. Make it a big plug. Yeah, we don't do small things here. You're not here to slightly promote yourself. Yeah. You're here to promote yourself all the way.
Well, I didn't know I was going to actually be talking about myself. Like, I asked, Tony.
You thought you was going to be here sitting with us?
Well, because I know that you guys are, a topic-based podcast. So I thought I was coming through to talk a little bit about different topics. But I'm also open to talk about myself. I have no problem with that.
Oh, yeah, we talk about everything.
We talk about everything. Yeah.
All right, so first question. So what does POC stand for the people that don't know?
POC stands for Proof of Consciousness. It was actually something that was given to me. So I was in the middle of a conversation similar to this one, but it was a little bit more like getting into it as far as topics and overall understanding of what the people need to consume in order to get where they need to go. So in the midst of that conversation, I was just doing what I do best as far as just talking, but making sure that I'm putting some substance and some food, that you can swallow and take from it. Because I'm not just about just talking, I'm also about applied action. So in the midst of that conversation, a gentleman yelled out, was like, "That's proof of consciousness right there. That's proof of consciousness." So I was just like, "That is me." So I just took
Thank you.
the idea of saying that is proof of consciousness, but what he was really trying to say is she know what she's talking about. You know what I mean? She listen to what she got going on. So from there, I just ran with it, and then the definition of consciousness, or if you look up the definition of consciousness, Revive pops in it. So Revive came through. So it's literally to just bring life, health, and consciousness to my people with mass communication. So Revive, Proof of Consciousness, became a intertwined thing, and now you got your girl PLC 7 years later.
So wait, they had to get to how you got your name. Because most people that have a name, it's like, how did you get it? You know what I mean? Like, I can explain my name. Like, they'd be like, JT, what's that? Just thoughts. But it's also my initials.
Okay.
So, it's like, okay.
It's original though.
What's your? I always forget his.
No, I don't. I don't. He gets it.
The 20. It's very.
I know it has something to do with your actual name, but
it's not.
It's the 2 times for me.
I would be lost.
You told me. You told me on my show actually, so I do know why. But
Right. So essentially, I was Bruce Juice for a nice long minute.
we don't like that one.
No one
That's
did.
the only reason I brought it up. 'Cause I know you have to say
No one did. No
That's the
one.
only reason I brought it up.
It made everybody feel uncomfortable.
Bruce Juice.
Like, come to stage.
I don't think I like
No.
But it was something I made on the fly only because my real name is Bruce Canada, and I had people who intentionally messed my name up because they thought I was a cartoon character.
Okay.
They didn't think my name was real.
They really
It don't seem real.
don't like I'm saying like
It don't seem real.
Dude. I've seen some names. I wrote them down in the book. I'm gonna send them to y'all later. Like, these are people that are actually in the world, existing, living life with these names, and it's like your parents didn't love you at all.
Oh.
Or you're just not from here.
Oh.
I've seen a lot of those names.
Yeah,
But not, yeah, some of them are bad.
I mean, we live in a different world where people want to be not necessarily exotic, but people want to be open and a little bit more charismatic with how they experience childbirth. So the names come with experiences, things that they lived through, So I give it up to my millennial generation.
Oh, okay.
I feel like millennials are the ones that
I was going to say, I ain't had that problem
those
in
kind of-
childbirth. I just like simple names.
But no, I feel like our parent generation started the overzealous
Yeah.
items, tangible things. Let me name my child Alexis.
I know what I say. It's not
It's
not
us.
us.
That's
Not us?
No, that's not us.
What you mean?
It's
We're
not our
in
age
our
range.
40s.
Yeah,
We're in our 40s.
Yeah.
You are still millennial though. You're 40 what? You want to tell the people? Or
No, I'm 43.
43. So you're still millennial.
But my point is, we don't have those kind of names.
Okay.
We got regular names.
Regular names.
Like, got
But our parents are the ones that started that.
that's fair.
Alexis,
Laquavius.
I'm talking about things that are named after certain things.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Alexis
Like,
is not really. Alexis is not one of those names, to be honest. Alexis has been a regular name.
no.
Yeah, that was my cousin's
Right
name
away
for
to
the,
spell.
for the car that
US
came
versus
out.
the
And I can't think of another one right now, but there's a tons of things that our parent generation,
Mercedes.
Mercedes like
yeah.
literally was like infatuated with, so they named their child after that. And then us as millennials, we were like, oh, I lived through this, so let me name my child after one of my lived experiences.
I only say that because my cousin.
Star.
I have a cousin named
Sky.
Alexis. I have
Yeah.
a cousin named Alexis, but it's Alexis. But her dad's name is Alex.
Mm.
You get what I'm
So you
saying?
see where that
It's like Brooklyn. It's like Brooklyn is not. People look at the city, but Brooklyn is just Brooklyn together for the most part. That's why people have named their kids.
Oh, you smart.
Got family. I know why they got their names.
explain to me Erica,
Erica.
not with the
So many ways to spell it.
AIR.
Why?
The Erica Airheads spell things wrong.
Right, 'cause I was
so,
like,
yeah, there you go.
Derek with an H.
You said Derek with an H.
Derek with an H at the end.
I've never seen Derek with H.
I have.
ugh.
But I know I'm in Philly where I get the mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
Mirrors and what else? Queer like Quamir,
I thought Amir
I guess
was
it's still
regular
Amir.
because I grew up with Amir.
the
Right.
claws and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah, the quads and all that.
Yeah.
It was like I was watching Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know his name was Quasimodo, but I'm gonna name my son Quamir. I'm like, come on, the Disneyland. No, it's a beautiful
My
movie.
nephew's name is
Quamir, Quadir,
Quadir.
Quamir, Quasir.
All these cute names. First of all,
for sure.
they're not getting no good jobs. They can't. The extra light skins
Don't
can't
do
pronounce
that.
that.
Don't do that. They,
No,
they
it's
come with-
Extra lights.
No,
they come
it's.
with the- they come with the-
But unfortunately, it's funny you bring that up. Is that was one of the reasons my mom even tells me to this day. Is like, I'm glad that your name is Bruce and not something else, because when they look at your application and hear you on the phone and then see you in person, that's two different, it's three different. Like, you know, it's like, oh,
They're like,
Bruce.
wait a minute, I thought.
I've gotten
Well,
it.
you're here. We might as well come on and do the interview.
Because my name looks very extra light skin on paper.
There. I get you, B.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, you don't.
You do.
I got 2 whites at the front.
So do I.
But your last name is not.
Actually, it is.
It's a white?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
See, my name inspires both trust and intrigue.
Your name
makes
inspires
me-
Canadians.
And it reminds me of
Peaceful
a character from the Incredible Hulk. So,
Yeah, see, it's a happy memory.
so for those who don't know, my actual full name is Ryan Christopher. I'm
You're
sorry.
very bold.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Joseph Michael.
You're very bold.
Exactly. I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but I say, I,
You know
like,
how many people don't know my real name? No, it's hilarious.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows it now.
No, they don't, because everybody's not on here.
or they're not paying attention.
Yeah,
It'll take for the repost of the repost.
Yeah.
Everybody, wait a minute.
They talking about being stupid.
It's
They watch the whole
official.
video.
When it's a question on Jeopardy.
You know what the funniest thing is when you find people's name on Facebook by mistake. And he was like, "Oh, that's their real name. That's regular. That's regular."
I've slept with women and still don't know my real name.
Wow.
It's unfortunate.
Does it say a lot about them or you?
Both of us.
I just needed that grown ass man's response.
There are people that still know me at 6'9".
And why would they?
And you're only
do
6'7".
that? Why
That
would
used to be
they-
very simple. So a friend of mine,
Oh, because you're 6'9". Your height is 6'9".
it's a joke with. So
Because the first thing I thought about was Kasha.
yeah,
No.
trash. I had that title.
Skittles
before.
rapper?
He was
I
still
thought you
probably
were
a wee
affiliated
top
with the game.
when
Skittles rapper, no.
Is he affiliated
No.
with the game?
Mhm.
Okay. No,
so
I can't be around gaming.
no game affiliation.
I didn't know what.
No.
No, what it was, so group of guys used to hang out with, like friends of friends. We always used to get together, South Street, Gallery, and at first they would never remember my name. So he was like, "Who the 6'9" boy?" And it stuck. So that was just always when everyone heard them call me, they just assumed that was my name.
That's how I got my name.
So
Something
one
that
day
sticks.
we're out on like a quadruple date, and we're in some restaurant, and one of the young ladies, she's like at the
A
opposite.
quadruple date.
Yeah, it was like,
You guys.
4 couples.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm just trying.
yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out how.
She's trying to figure out how the night ended. That's what it sounds like.
But like, how did all
So,
y'all sit at a
The young
table?
lady was
That
like,
part, that's
and she goes, "Why do they call you 6'9"?" And then I look at everyone at the table, and they're like, "Hey, did you not see him walk in the door?" And it's like, so I was like, "I got this." I said, "It's because I'm 6'9" laying down." And everyone got the joke except her. It was like a buffering
There was a
delay
delay there.
And so ever since then, it's stuck. So all my friends just from that era. That's how I know who knows me from what era.
So I have another
Will
question.
Smith actually has something like that too.
Where are you originally from Philly?
No, I'm from Washington D.C. born and raised, but grew up in Glen Island, Maryland.
It sounds like he was gonna get more information. Oh,
Now that you say that
Immediate
that explains something I thought.
What?
So, seeing her page, right, and seeing how she shows up.
Mhm.
She shows up very, guys don't talk to me. That's how she shows up. Like, yeah, I don't play for you. That's how you show up. Yes. However, then when you see you, like, in a dress or something, it's like, she do like us. Heck, you both, I think.
That went over my head. I did not know that you were talking about it. I ain't a basketball player my whole life. I was basketball my whole life.
Great knowledge.
Yes. I went down
Because I said, I was like, wait, I didn't think she liked us.
Yeah, I'm very fine.
That's true, yes. That's right. Yeah. Like, oh, look at her in this dress.
I do declare.
She likes the N-words.
I do the
You know what's really funny? The first time I met you, and I kind of was like scared. Nah, not kind of scared. I was scared. Nah, it wasn't your personality. Nah, you're approachable, but at the same time, because I had a company, so I was like, all right, cool, business opportunity. She seems serious. She seems serious. I can't come with the ha-has. I'm like, all right, well, so I talk to you like Morpheus now.
Yeah,
Did you have the glasses with no sides on them?
I never any glasses. People still don't believe I wear glasses.
Because you keep breaking them. You have to break them or you don't wear
I
them.
don't watch TV, man.
But disclaimer, I'm not a very serious person. I'm a very chill, laid back.
Tell the truth, you're a nerd, just like the rest of us.
I am definitely a nerd. Sometimes I call myself a public media nerd, you know, because I am a journalist at the
But
end
she
of the day.
about her
So,
business.
yeah,
She
so-
about her business. If you're not coming correct, then it's.
But I can definitely, you know, converse with the best of them. I can, you know, step with the
That's
best
a
of them.
plus.
Your versatility is
You have
amazing.
all come time.
Yeah.
All come time. Listen.
We know you're not the stuck up type, no, blah, blah, blah. You know why we know that?
Why?
Right here.
Because I'm supporting Ladder 15. Shout out to Ladder 15. You feel me?
We do the same. We do the same. Yes, we do the same. So we always got drinks.
No promo though, or not paid promotion.
So, as a journalist and an advocate for the people, how do you feel about this the school all year situation?
Sean Parker. I'm kind of in the ups with it. You know what I mean? The full plan and the whole idea has not necessarily rolled out in its full capacity to talk about it from something where I can just pick it, you know,
Yeah.
line by line. So I don't have a full rebuttal towards it. But I feel for our students who are not necessarily on purpose falling behind. You know what I mean? Like they are experiencing what it means to be pandemic babies. You know, none of us will ever be able to experience that. So what it means to be 2 years in-house trying to educate yourself, or have your parents who are not necessarily educated on the topics in which you're educating, or what your school is trying to educate you on, not versatile to the point where they can now step in and do these things for you.
Right.
So they're experiencing a 2-year delay, and none of us can have that conversation. If we were 2-year delayed, it's because we decided not to go to class. You feel me? So the fact that they legitimately, the fact that they can legitimately walk into a school building and
Right.
actually get what it means to be instituted is a completely different type of conversation. So I see where she's coming from to make sure that Philadelphia students, because we are lacking in all kinds of scholastic tests across the board, you know what I mean? Like our students, our adults are never calling anyone illiterate, but based on data and statistics, the city
The
is
level
a
of
very
proficiency.
illiterate city because where our school system is the way I would say our school system is created and designed. We have a different type of school board because we are a school district, and it's not necessarily something that is voted in. It's something that is picked. So it's a big difference. You know what I mean? So
I
the
don't
mayor
think
can
that-
pick the superintendent of the
Well,
school
I mean,
district versus us
I'm
voting in the
a
school
public
district.
school kid, so
Me
I
too.
don't
But
remember.
you know what was funny? Listening to this, three of my children were in school during the pandemic situation.
And it all depends on what grade. You can talk about a second grader being in a pandemic situation. By the time they get back to school, they were in 5th grade. So picture going from 2nd grade to 5th grade.
First grade to third grade.
Damn.
It's
You
still.
know what I mean?
But my child, she does well.
Yeah.
But funny thing is, she still homeschools.
So blessings to y'all. You're gonna have to.
My son, he's doing great.
Mhm.
He's in high school. One of my children just graduated last year.
Okay.
So it's like it didn't really slow them down.
Okay.
But I look at it
That's
as
being raised. Though.
case by case. That's
I
all
was
it's
gonna say,
a
that's
case
what
by
credit to the
case
teachers that
basis
they had also.
on your parents and children being willing to want to do things.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's just how I look at it. I don't put everything in one box because everybody's different. You know what I mean? But I don't like statistics too well because statistics
But they don't lie.
they do lie.
But if all the information is not properly recorded,
Yeah.
then
Well,
It's not-
when I say statistics, I was specifically talking about numbers. You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I
that's-
mean?
yeah.
Like, if the data is recorded, the data is recorded, and I do understand that some data can be inputted the way that it can,
Right.
you know, based on.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
no,
like,
I get what you're saying.
we have to trust what the data is telling us in order to even have these type of conversations, or even to talk about funding, or even to talk about replacement in leadership, or any of that. So if we're not listening to the data or actually paying attention to it, we're actually being a part of the problem versus trying to find a solution to it.
I say that because it's like I don't like statistics because the reason being, if I asked you who you thought was locked up the most out of us three, who would you think? Who would you think?
The most, given my transparent answer,
Mhm.
I would go with RC, only because I feel like he would be profiled the most because of his height and his skin color.
Statistically,
No.
statistically, right? Those are statistics. However, I don't recall any of us ever being.
That's a real thing.
Yep.
That's the only. Those are one of the reasons why I hate statistics.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Like I actually have no police record.
That's
And like when I tell people,
But
they're looking
that's
at me, they're
a
like, really? And I'm like,
profile,
and
It's
I
a
said, so
profile, yeah.
I say, when you profile someone, that's like based off of their gender, their race, and then you hear certain things like there's some stuff that's low key. Oh, they're Caucasian, so they don't have rhythm.
though.
And then there's things like,
And that's a lie.
yeah, because
They got their own rhythm.
Yeah, think about this. Riverdance.
They got their own rhythm. Let's do a different song.
Line
Yeah,
dancing,
exactly.
Channing Tatum.
It's Channing Tatum to the ladies. Okay,
I mean, to be
So
fair,
it's like,
it's
yeah.
just choreographed.
that's true.
But
He's still a
gotta-
good dancer.
Yeah,
He
he gotta
is.
be a good dancer. So it's like that's just using that just one as a mild one, and then to flip it to all white people are racist. That's not true.
Mhm.
So when they say that statistic, or this means like it's not that there's not some truth in the numbers, because things have to be recorded to have a record of what's going on. Like I know folks that won't take the census when it comes out.
Exactly. So what was true 10 years ago or 2 decades
That part,
ago
now
or
we
3
go down
decades
to
ago
the-
are not the same as what's happening right now because of how people are influenced, how mindsets change, all of those things. But at one point in time, you couldn't tell people who were living at that time that all white people wasn't racist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because
So-
that's all they see.
My barber said something to me one day. It was probably 10, 15 years ago. He said, every black person over 70 hated white people.
Because they experienced some form of racism.
Right, and he wasn't wrong at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even now, racism exists. Like I've experienced it. Tried to throw a bottle in the car, but I missed it. I was in Jersey.
Allegedly.
It's not alleged. I threw a bottle in the car. The statute of limitations are passed.
Okay,
See the eyesight people like, yeah.
Once again, media training. Don't you admit to shit.
How many years ago? Allegedly.
This ain't gonna- Hey, I understand media training. I know when they're not to say things. I'm not blaming them.
Word.
When do I ever blame them on alcohol? Besides me crawling off the building that one day. Just besides crawling off the building. Everything else, I don't blame it on alcohol.
Um,
A
That
fun
was a
night,
great
sir.
night, though. That was a great
Fun
night.
night.
what?
All right. Yes.
What have to tell you about that?
I'm looking at y'all like,
We
what
can talk about that.
No, we
can't
can't
talk
talk
about
about it. No, it's gonna be an all-camera conversation.
There's a-
All
I
camera.
got nothing to do with that night.
Oh, okay.
So,
Because I admit the things I've done. Yeah. The only thing I lie on is who I probably had slept with. The only thing I lie on.
But you gotta think about omitting at this big age. You know, I feel like we're all over 30 or 40 right at this point. Like when people have this idea that I didn't tell you everything, but I didn't necessarily lie about it.
No, it's not. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean by that.
No, it had
is-
nothing to do with that. I was just
okay.
changing the subject.
I thought
in
you were
general
saying
because
that,
it
like,
was on my mind.
Oh,
So like when it comes out, and that could be me too. And I'm sorry because it's not my show. Okay, guys.
But
No,
you're here.
no, you're here.
We want to hear what you have to say.
I asked the question, and that's what
No,
you did.
it's
What is it? You want I feel like this. You're not the first. You won't be the last that I have questions for us. We've had a comedian pop up, answer a question, and come back with a question for all of us. So it's like it happens, and it's like that's why we like this show. We like to keep it organic. So the flow of the show is going to be what it is. Like, yeah, we'll have questions. Like I feel like this. We have similar questions we ask everybody, but there's each question is most likely geared towards
Who the
what
person
you
is.
do, who you are.
so your question was, how you feel about omitting things?
At this age, right?
Ooh. So
Specifically at this age.
I'm gonna give you the reason why I say what I said. So I don't deal with men. So there's no reason I should have to tell a man who I slept with. So at that point, that's what I lie about. And if I'm dealing with a woman that's, hey, did you sleep with this person? I'm gonna tell her the truth. Because I don't need to tell
Did
them
I?
that. But I'll tell somebody I'm gonna sleep with that. But I'm not gonna sleep with you. If you have no plans on that, it's none of your business. So that's why I say that's what I'm lying.
Only time I omit something is like for a friend, and if it's something personal that other people don't need to know. But for myself, yeah, I'm pretty open. Like, people ask me questions, I'm gonna answer it. Like,
You might not like the answer.
oh no,
That's
I mean,
that's
most of the
what I'm
time
saying.
people going to feel how they gonna feel about the answer, but it's like I haven't lived that as interesting of a life for people like, ooh, you did that, like, it's regular stuff.
I think it depends on the question and who is it coming from. Because if you're within my circle and I trust you with information that I consider private, then yeah, you're open book. If you are outside of my circle and I don't know what your motives are for even asking this question, because if you don't know me that well, it's not like, oh well, I'm trying to get to know you because just normal conversation, folks get to know me. So it's going to be certain things I will omit. You don't need to know that. Things about my life, my kids, you know.
Nobody needs to know you have a foot fetish.
Like
They shouldn't be asking you that randomly.
I just know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that is
He was like,
a
listen,
you
question to
attest the
ask.
wrong
I like
thing.
the baby toe. I only suck the baby toe, but I play with the big one while I suck it. Nobody leaving the
No, that's the wrong guy. You confused with that other guy.
No, you
The other
can't.
guy.
That is a weird question just to ask somebody.
Right.
He in a war of his own.
So the funny part is this. I was telling my mom about our show coming up June 1st. More than you can handle with the king. And
It's so much happening on June 1st.
I was trying to explain to her, she was like, about us. And I was like, we're our own, we're our own variety.
Where's the show at?
The show is in Fishtown at a
We
park.
can't give out the address until it's all
Yeah,
taken.
because the owners, they
It's a private
per contract,
It's
yes.
part of the contract we signed.
I heard that first.
Mhm.
Get the tickets.
It was like an explanation. Well, it was the way she asked the question about us. And I was like, we have our own makeup that makes us unique and why we came up with the name. Because we were sitting there trying to figure out a name, and shout out to Twani for that, with the putting a cap on it. And we're like, we would just, I forgot, we went through a couple things, and we were just like, the way we came up with more than you can handle, it was like, we all kind of was like, yeah. And it's like, I explained to her about, I said, GT, he's this guy, but he's our comedian. We put the disclaimer on. Not that you need one, but it's just like, it goes with him because they look at him and assume one thing until when the first punchline or the first part of his joke comes out and everybody's like, and it's like, I told you when I came on the stage, coming to the stage, we do not condone everything this man does. He
Yeah.
says,
No,
but
that's
he
one
is
thing.
still part of our circle. And,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like,
The
he's
first
that
time I
guy.
talked to JT, my mouth dropped the same way.
Exactly. So it's like,
Because I was like, what?
She was okay with
Yeah, like, because JT goes left a lot.
right.
So
All the time.
give him
It's like, so same thing with Twani. It's the thing of, he's the glue of
This is the mayor.
Yeah, he'd be the mayor.
I'll be
Yeah.
like Twani the mayor, Twani for mayor. Because it's like everywhere we go. Twani Two Times, right? The comedian.
That's what's up.
Everybody knows it. We show up, he like, yeah, I'm gonna do this event. I'm gonna do this event.
Right.
You know,
And
We
he's
just
connected
did some
so
events,
well. It's
yeah.
like he's the mayor. Like it's kind of hard to go to any one city and not know, or the mayor knows someone in each borough, so it's like that's who he is. Like different groups around the city, they're like, oh, I know Twani.
I'm outside, he doing comedy in the ring. He helping set up.
Right.
Look at this. He's a florist.
That was
Look at
for the Philly Park project.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me, I'm the.
That's how I met him actually. He was also ready, if that makes sense. Like when he said as far as like, oh, she made business. So when he came to me, he knew what I was looking for specifically, and we were talking about videographers and photographers.
Okay.
And I was like, date, time, here, address, send them now. Period. And that's literally how we connect.
My phone, oddly enough, you don't know so when you said all that, my phone was like dying. I was like plugged up to the subway. I'm calling people. I'm like, yeah, you gotta come. You gonna be there? You gonna be there? Make sure you're there on time. 7:30.
Yeah.
7:30. Like,
And the crazy part is his videographer, that the very first videographer we connected with, I got to interview DJ Envy. So it was like a big interview for me as far as like a big connection because for her, she was like completely nervous. She didn't know what the hell she was walking into. And that's what I kind of was telling 20. I was like, I have an event today. I need a videographer right now. Like it's given 2 hours, and it was just so crazy that he DM'd me all of a sudden like, hey, I see you working. Whoop, whoop. I just want to let you know that I have these options available for you as far as like my team. I'm like, okay. And I just hit him with the okay, and then 2 days later he was like, I'm still here, and I was like, now date time send them like it needs to be done. And it worked out perfectly, and she came through. Remind me her name again. I'm sorry, sis. Okay, you don't remember it either, but she came through. She held that camera, and I got what I needed, and we did what we needed to do. So shout out to Tony.
I mean, what really drew me to Revive was you're in a collective of all women photographers and videographers. Essentially, I was it was during the pandemic, and I was because that was my job. It was still my job is to connect with everybody.
Make sure you had the black part in there.
Yes, all black female media team essentially.
Exactly.
They did everything.
Sure. Pickups.
Yeah. They
Y'all need some. Never mind.
No, we know. We good on here. We good on here. And it's very intentional. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of the men that come around, you know, and really show love to Revive and everything that we're doing. But when it comes down to just specifically the team on the production side, I love to just work with Black women who is able to really just get off their ideas and creativities and subconscious ideas and conscious ideas at the same time, because you know, going into a media space and going into just this environment or just the world of journalism in general can be very, very, very fascist as far as male dominated, you know what I mean? So being able to provide spaces for women that look like me, for women who starting from the bottom, starting from the grassroots, starting from an idea, starting from a concept, let's work, sis. Let's see what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how we can make each other pop. So that's really where it came from.
Y'all hear that?
It's very intentional.
And they're all very accomplished and fire.
Yeah.
Fire. Like, but I was just glad I was able to be even in that space to I think you guys were doing Instagram live, I guess, between y'all, and I was just listening. I was listening like everything they were coming up with, the different concepts. Like they had like a 5-year plan for like how they gonna be moving forward. It's in the pandemic where nothing was like assured. Like it was like you had no idea, but they had a plan on where they were moving.
And to just piggyback on that, I give all the grace to God for real. Like to be fully transparent, I don't think. Well, I know for a fact I wouldn't be here without God. I'm a very spiritual leading person for sure. So when it came down to the whole pandemic idea, we were actually 3 years advanced. We didn't even know that we were going to be 3 years ahead of everybody, right? So when I started Revive Radio, I started Revive Radio as an internet radio platform, something that is similar to or something that could be compared to like Sirius XM Radio, where you get in your car or you can get in on your computer or your phone and just simply listen to it from the actual internet, the World Wide Web. So when I experienced that and I knew what that was, I was like, this is a thing, you know? So creating my own internet radio platform was literally something that leveraged me in 2020. So when everyone was in their homes and they couldn't get on the terrestrial side of things, or everyone didn't have the money to pay that $2,000 to download the app, we already had all of those things in place. So for those 2 years, 2020 to 2021, we was booming, we was jumping, we was live 365, or I was live 24/7 AM to the PM, and we never stopped broadcasting, we never stopped moving, we never stopped interviewing, we never stopped doing what we need to do, to the point where it became like international. We were now interviewing people from Nigeria to Haiti, like we were moving because we had the internet platform. It was already there. It wasn't something we had to pay for at the time. It wasn't something we had to search. It wasn't something we had to create. Like people were trying to create their internet platform, their digital presence. We already had that, you know what I mean? So it was just like, press play, click that play button, click that play button. It was the thing. And propelled, and from there, shout out to WHYY. I did my thing and they made that phone call, and I've been on NPR baby ever since.
Support Black women.
Support
Black women.
One of the things is your profession journalism, because I think they may have missed that part.
One of the hats that I wear is a journalist. Yes, one of the hats that I wear is a journalist. But I own my own media production company. So I am someone who is more in the space of encompassing all things that are entertainment. So yes, journalism is an aspect of the things that I do. I push a lot of my journalism through what Revive Media does. But no, I'm not going to cap myself as just specifically a journalist because I'm a content creator, I'm a media maker, I do all these stuff.
I have a question about your journalism. So,
Thank you for the question.
A lot of times for journalists, they give criticisms
Mhm.
and constructive criticism.
Mhm.
So most of the time, I don't see you really being somebody who's going to give people criticism. I see you somebody who's going to give people advice. Is it advice from the standpoint of you having experience, or is it both of having experience and being the outsider looking in, so you're not biased to it?
I think that's a really great question. For me, there's a difference between criticism and critique. And I think that people really value when someone can critique them in a way in which can add value to them. So that's where I'm at with it. So I have no problem with critiquing anyone. For example, you having this Patriots flag and a hat on today. But yeah, so as far as speaking up and talking on things, I have no problem with saying that. And I love for people to do the same for me, because I have no doubt in my mind that I'm not perfect, you feel me? So when it comes down to even what we're doing, we do it specifically for the people. So we're not even listening to the people as far as the critique or the advice which they give us. How can we dare or have the audacity to give critique and advice? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm very open-minded to listening to the people, for the people, and then also receiving it and giving it at the same time.
I still feel judged by my hat.
I don't want to keep talking about it. I am very black and proud.
So
As you see, 20 shirt, shout out to the Revive merchandise. You can find this merchandise on reviveslive.com for sure. Go ahead and do your thing.
next question we have: you were given a budget of $200,000. What would you film and where?
Wow, that's a crazy question. I'm so grateful, and I'm going to plug myself. Not a small plug, but a big plug. He corrected me the first time. I actually have 2 documentaries. I'm an actual film director as well. So if you go into my website, revivesalive.com, under the media tab, you can click the documentary tab, and it will show you both of my documentaries that I created. My documentary that I created was definitely specifically like trying to hone in on what it means to be a part of a city like Philadelphia and experiencing gun violence. So both of them are about gun violence. But if I had $200,000, it said, where would I go?
Where?
Or what would I create?
What would you create a film and
What would
where?
Okay, so the film that I will create actually will be a lot of small shorts. I was just telling my friend Dominique that I want to make trailers. Like I have this infatuation with like movie trailers, to be able to take something that's 2.5 hour, 90 minutes, whatever long, and condense it down to 90 seconds. It's like
It's like when I make the reels.
Yeah, so I honestly would take that $200,000 and just create a production space within Revive Media already, and it would be a trailer company where we create trailers for movies and productions and things that are already created. And where would that be? Which is a great question. Probably somewhere in the Caribbean islands, so I can just space out and make as much content as possible.
You just want to be somewhere warm with nice water.
That
I mean,
That would make me more creative.
I'm on my way back home. I'm on
I
my way
got
back home.
bad shoulders,
I'm on my way back home.
The basketball injury.
Yeah, these are now.
He's grabbing the balls.
Caribbean
Rotator cuff.
islands.
Rotator cuff.
All of it. My shoulders are really bad.
Like some of us didn't play ball. The RC.
How dare you, sir?
That's why you got bad knees now.
Right.
First of all, get knees like I got. Get them prepared.
I'll try. The other one,
Just dragging
I
like
have to go get a brand new one. Like
My godbrother gonna tell me the other day I come out the
Thank you
gym.
for that question too. I appreciate it.
I
Thank you.
can outrun you. I said, Negro, should I fix my knees and both my Achilles? You ain't winning.
I actually ruptured my Achilles. I'm when it comes to basketball, I'm the example of
throwing basketball.
got hurt. Yeah.
Wait.
So, all right.
1, 2,
Mhm.
3. Work injury.
Sheesh.
One, two.
I already know what you meant by that. ACL, MCL, and Achilles.
Yep. I knew she'd do that though.
Y'all be getting tore
And
up.
I'm still faster than
Chick on
80%
my
of
knee,
people.
tore my meniscus.
Ooh.
Both same knee.
Yeah, same knee, ACL, meniscus, and MCL, and then Achilles. That put me down.
That ain't put me down.
That put me
When he first met me,
Oh, he had the RoboCop boot on.
Me too.
And a walker.
I was in the Achilles had me in a cast for 3 months. I've never been in a cast in my life until I ruptured my Achilles, and I was like,
I think I'm gonna get a
in
cast.
hard cast, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you gotta stick something down there to scratch that thing. Like I was down.
No, I
Like,
had the one that was on my hand because I broke my thumb.
Oh my
in gym
gosh.
class. It was weird shit. And it was from here to there was
Almost the elbow.
It was just like
and the crazy part is, I didn't get out of my cast until December of 2019. And the pandemic came February, March of 2020.
Wow.
So when I tell you I went from sitting down
to having to
to having to sit down, oh my
That's so
God.
drawn. It's just-
Oh,
Yes, I'm free. World shut down.
No,
Exactly.
you're not. Sit down. Sit down. Love
So-
right
You was
now.
watching
Sit
the
down.
news like,
So for like the first 4 months, I was in the RoboCop of the pandemic. So I was walking around that big old.
God.
When he first met me, you too looked walker.
Yeah.
Boot.
Did you have the scooter? Because I had the scooter. I was a scooter girl. I
No,
scooted everywhere.
each time I did it, the first time I had crutches when I did my Achilles. Both my ACLs and MCL. It was only one side I tore the MCL too. I had crutches. Then after the work injury, I was like, no, give me the walker because I have crutches in the house. I was at the job.
Definitely a scooter girl.
I'm popping up crutches.
I remember
Walker,
going
it
up
matter.
some steps at Comedy Joe.
Them stairs is an incline.
Yes, it was just like he was like, "You gonna make it all right?" He's like, "I got this."
I mean, it's funny. I play ball. I play basketball. I play football. I didn't.
I played football.
Play football.
I
too.
preferred football. I was better at that.
I
The
didn't
most I ever got hurt playing football, I had the wind knocked out of me, and I think
You a big
maybe,
target.
I said maybe
You was a big target.
twisted my ankles.
My doctor still at the time didn't even know what was really wrong. I couldn't lift my arm for like, I don't know, 2
I like
months.
your socks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't lift my arm for like 2 months.
Hold on.
I think it's still nerve damage.
Oh yeah, that's the ongoing thing between us: socks and the crazy shirts.
Okay.
So I
This
kept it calm
First
today.
of all, this holds a special place in her heart.
Why?
know why.
Why?
Never mind. She don't know. I'm sorry. Happy accidents.
Huh?
Oh,
She don't know about that.
slides.
You don't know about Bob Ross?
Oh yes, the painter.
Wow.
Yes. Wow, I do like his socks better. I didn't see that.
The multitude of
I do
horrors
love
is
your socks. Your socks for my attention. Like,
I had to read
And
it
the
up a
crazy
little
part
bit.
is, I was at the house like, what's
and there's
up?
not a better. I'm sorry, there's no better. But I do love it.
No, it's
I'm like,
fine.
No,
But
it's
like
better.
that's
It's
a
better.
You win this round.
For those who watch Pluto, like 5 in the morning, this is the show, TV shows that come home.
I didn't know. I'll be watching
He's
it.
still on?
On Pluto.
I mean, he's been gone for forever.
Yeah,
but
but I'm saying.
When it comes on, I'll be stuck. Just
Yeah, I sit there and watch
Nostalgia.
for a little bit and just be like,
That was definitely one of them
Mountains,
joints you just
trees.
up early in the morning.
Birds.
Exactly.
Like, why have I been watching this for an hour?
it's a little happy cloud.
Exactly.
it's a happy accident.
It's just a heavy. It was a whole.
And shout out to Exhibit A. Exhibit A is the one that put me on tour. So I wouldn't even know who you was before first. So shout out to Exhibit A.
But what's-
Shout out to the team.
But we have other meanings for Bob Ross too.
I'm about to say, I'm about to say, if it wasn't for Exhibit A, I wouldn't know you.
Yep, too. Shout out to the
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
All right, so we got another
We
question.
need to get you another one.
I would like another one too. And
What
do we
was?
do bathroom breaks between us?
You gotta go. You
I
good.
said you gotta go.
I mean, we only got like 15 minutes left. Can you hold it?
I don't know.
Hold it. Okay.
All right, so the next question is: what was the most rewarding piece you filmed and why?
The most rewarding piece that I filmed, as far as my 2 documentaries, I'm gonna go with the one that I collaborated with CCP, the Community College in Philadelphia. No,
Alumni.
I mean, both of them have a very
All three.
like a very like a very dear near piece of my heart. So I don't have like a which one. So the first one was actually a musical. So and
Okay.
it's crazy because just a tiny bit of backstory and rest in peace, Leak. So I did a musical about gun violence, and I chose artists in the city of Philadelphia who produces conscious music to talk about these particular things as far as violence and gun violence in the city of Philadelphia. One of them had to bring their younger brother with them in order to do the recording that day. So the younger brother is all through the documentary. 2 days later, the younger brother goes home and finds a gun in his house and ends up shooting himself. So when I tell you like that piece, it was like a whole thing for me for like a year. I had to settle with that one. And then the next one is one that we partnered with the Community College of Philadelphia to actually talk about intersections, what it means to be a student of the city, like a resident, and then also to be a student of the Community College of Philadelphia. So what does it mean to live in the city of Philadelphia and then also be a student of the city of Philadelphia? We were able to talk to 4 criminal justice majors who live in different sections and different zip codes because, Philadelphia is a bubble. So we did that conversation, and that one was something that brought me some awards and things like that. Okay. So they both have their different kind of weight on them as far as why they're important and why they were, impactful for me to do. But I had no clue when it comes down to the musical that anything like that was going to happen. That was like a phone call for sure. Like, this just happened.
I mean, as a person that have seen both documentaries, like it was very
odd.
It was very eye-opening.
Oh, you watched both? Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That's what you all watch both. Yeah.
10 minutes.
But yeah.
Shout out to the producer.
What was that? The Arboretum.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to Andyville.
Exactly.
Arboretum. You were showing them.
Wow.
What was?
Shout out to Tawny. He's been rocking for a while now. I appreciate that.
If you send it to me,
I appreciate that.
If you send it to me, I'm gonna come through.
Because the fact that he's remembered that, it means a lot. So I appreciate that.
Which was the really dope part I remember about it was they had a lot of juvenile. I hate the word delinquent in that case, but no, only because it just negative connotation on young people that in some cases they had no choice to do what they did. But I thought it was really important for them to come, and I think they actually pulled something from it.
I hope so, yeah.
From the ones that were able to come through. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting to see, because a lot of times people don't see themselves on camera that early on. To see, when you see that so early on, you're able to be affected by it versus you see when you get older and you're like, man, what if I saw this when I was younger? Mm-hmm. And maybe I might not have did the same things I, did again to be in the same situation.
I mean, hearing that, I don't know how I feel about that. And I say that because I've never done anything as far as being a delinquent type person as a child. Born and raised project kid. First of all, I'm not nasty. I'm strategic. I'm strategically special.
You was in the house practicing your moves. He was the one that was doing the worm in the mirror.
I probably was. I'm a so
practice makes perfect.
When I was told, get muscles, you get women and money, I was like, think about this. But I didn't fall into anything that my friends did.
That's what's up.
Like, I've never used any type of drugs.
Awesome.
Only thing I do is drink. I won't even eat eatable. It's not edible for me. It's eatable. The part of getting high, I don't need it. I get high on planes. All right. So certain things.
When women are flying from city to city, party to party.
So now you saying I'm a little sex worker, and I got now I'm getting sex worker. I am appalled.
No, it's we got 2 more questions too.
But shout out to the audience. I appreciate the engagement. That's something I get into.
But it's like I just didn't fall in line with that, and I feel like you just have to be strong-willed in the mind to not follow others.
I agree. You have to be strong-willed and also have someone in your corner who's helping to raise you. I do think that there's a difference between being raised and not being raised, as far as like allowing guidance to direct you, and then just having visuals of like you see something, so you do something. That type of
I learned about being wise instead of being smart. So people were like, "What do you mean?" When you're smart, you learn from your own mistakes. When you're wise, you learn from somebody else's. So I watched others' mistakes, and I didn't want to try.
I like to touch.
Look at this moron playing out there in traffic. He's about to get hit by the car.
Boom, boom. Mm-hmm. He was trying to dodge them linebackers. We used to call the cars linebackers.
And I'm going to touch the stove. You can tell me the stove time.
That's like the joint I said to y'all earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, mom is asking for. She's helping the kitchen. The kid goes up. She goes, it's hot. He still reaches under here to grab it. It's like a big old like boil pot, and it's like the bottom is hot. And then she just looks. She's like, look, motherfucker, the bottom is hot. And then he finally, it's like it clicks, and it was just like, why do you have to tell someone 3 times and then curse at them on a third?
Curiosity, bro.
That's why I yell at my kids. One time I say it. I'm not gonna say what else I would do if I would have to repeat myself because I don't. But I just say something one time. They listen. You know what I'm saying? Because I instilled in them that,
Fear?
not fear.
Not
No,
so much fear.
not fear. No, because my mom raised me not to make me do anything she always asked. So I did the same thing pretty much with my children. I don't make you do anything unless you have to do it. Other than that, I'm gonna ask you. If I can do it, I'll ask you to do it if I don't feel like it. But if it's something you have to do, that's different. Do your homework. You have to do that. Can you go to the store for it? You know what I mean? It's a difference in how you ask the question.
That's wrong.
Okay. All right. So, first one is for a young black woman interested in media, what advice would you give?
Simple. Be your authentic self. Never sway away from why you started, like your why or who you are. That's like my biggest thing. I always tell people, I do this workshop on it now, but it's something that I've been carrying with me for a very long time. It's like, don't get in your own way. And the acronym for way, the W stands for who, the A stands for R, the Y stands for you. So meaning as you're not getting in your own way, like who are you? So finding out who you are intentionally as you're not getting in your own way. So just being your 100% authentic self.
It's good stuff right there.
Yeah, it's so many different ways to get confused in the chaos, in the midst of the chaos. Shout out to my guy, RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. I listened to a bunch of his meditations that helped me get through. You know
Told
what I
y'all
mean?
Wu-Tang was for the kids.
Wu-Tang is forever.
Definitely for the kids. But he has as a virtual mentor has taught me how to embrace the chaos. I would advise you to, if you're listening right now, to look it up. It's called, I want to say, it's not called Embrace the Chaos, but if you go on YouTube and type in Embrace the Chaos and put RZA, RZA, it'll pop right up, and it's one of the best meditations I've ever done, and I probably listened to it 1 billion times to the point I can like repeat it. So that's helping. So just being yourself.
And the final one, you're making a movie starring More Than You Can Handle.
Mm-hmm.
What will be the title and the synopsis? I like that question. And she broke out the synopsis.
That's hilarious.
She must open the dictionary. Let me see how do I phrase this
Thank you for the question for sure. So the title will probably be These Niggas Here. And the synopsis will be oh, that's a great question. The synopsis will probably be, a night on the town with 3 comedians. You never know what's happening. Something like that, like
that is so factual.
Something like
All I'm
that,
going to say is banana crumbs.
You got 6ix9ine right here. You got JT. You got 20. You never know what can happen. So it'll be something around the lines of a night on the town.
You don't know about bananas? They have crumbs.
No, that went over my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't go left. Don't go left.
No.
It's a literal thing.
Oh, all right.
Because, real short, I had left them already. And then the next day I get up and I check my phone and he says something and I'm like, all right. I said, I got to send you the pictures. I said, I'm going to send them to the group. And that's all he says in the group chat. And I'm like, okay. So when I open it up, I see us from when we were at the open mic. And then the next picture I see is this guy.
Funny.
On this note. I'm like, he leaning hard as shit.
Did I ever put the videos in there?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if the videos are there. Then the very next picture is he has a banana, asleep,
So drunk.
but then he still has like pieces of banana right here.
Oh man, why
So-
do you do you like that?
I was because I was hungry and I was talking in the middle of my sleep and I was like, I'm hungry. And I was like, yo man, get some meat.
He was talking so much shit.
And I was.
And so he was just like, here, I got a banana here, but
I was eating a banana and then going back to
Oh,
sleep and then
man,
eating the banana and then go to
the
sleep.
picture itself was perfect.
They ain't have to put that on camera though.
No,
I put it like
what
this.
did I say though? because I didn't post it, and I told him I won't post it until
That's why I said,
Monday.
damn.
We did
Oh, no, it's just between us.
Wow, all these people ain't
No. They know of it, but
Yeah,
it's like,
so
so
we
he
got there. Listen, first thing
Yeah, no,
we
I
walk into the bar. It was karaoke night.
Mm.
So single is on. Like Usher, it's my shit, and the chick is up there singing. I'm like, nigga, that's Neo. He go over there, take his jacket off.
This is real life.
Yes,
Yeah.
singing all in her
like
face.
I said, it's
I'm over
funny
here
that
like,
you
yo,
said-
this is hilarious.
when you said the synopsis that you did, it was like so like
Right on point.
Yeah,
Right in.
on the head.
Three comedians, one journalist, going night on the town. And I'm a report on all this bullshit. Trust me, I got you.
Yo,
When you
that
ready,
would
let
be-
us know.
Yo, that would be a dope concept, and you do it from a perspective of interviewing them. Like, oh my god,
You're not bougie and you drink, so that would be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You eat too, right?
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to.
But see, that's what we do. Have the reporter like doing the job that they're like they have to do this one to get to the next story that they want to do, and then so that your reporter's kind of closed in, and then by the end of the movie, the reporter learns something about themselves. Like
Drop that 200,000 on us. We got a contract.
they'll tell you,
something
I'm
here.
the one that's always writing, creating different things, different concepts, and it's like, hey,
So that means y'all write your own jokes.
Of course,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, I'm a terrible writer.
Okay.
I'm great at improv and being on the spot.
Awesome.
Being a writer, I'm terrible. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm the same way. I
But
don't write my questions.
They will be like, yo,
I
put
can't
this in
provide
there.
prerequisites.
Mhm.
I
We help
can't
each other
give
out.
you
Really?
syllabus.
I
can't
thought
do
that you did.
Heck no. Oh my gosh, my brain is moving. Heck no. Do not ask me for a syllabus before an interview. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like
No breakdown, no
that.
rubric, none of that.
No.
You was in there with the note cards. I'm like, oh, these are hers.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I do for myself just to make sure I'm on point, period. But, like, I'm not going to send I do my best to not send it to my guests, like, unless it's, like, an extinguished guest.
It's esteemed. Are you not esteemed? Listen, everything you didn't say is esteemed. It's esteemed. I was
Well, let me plug myself before we wrap up. Again, Revive is Alive, reviveisalive.com. You can find me at Revive_POC, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We also have a newsletter where you can subscribe to our newsletter every month. We only send it out once a month. We do not spam your inbox. It's not something that we're trying
That's
to
great.
do as far as spam. We just want to make sure that you stay connected with all of the news and information that we provide that's for you and about you. Check me out on 900 AM WRD 96.1 Worth Radio here in the city of Philadelphia every Friday starting at 10 a.m. Check me out every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. on your midday dials on 98.5 WJYN, where I recently had these gentlemen as well. And then you can also check me out 90.9 FM, which is WHYY, in the city of Philadelphia as well, which I do as a bi-weekly segment where I do more of like a woman on the street beat and interview people about daily things that's happening in the city of Philadelphia. Also, I'm a publisher of a newspaper. You can find more information about my newspaper at therevivelocalpaper.com. You can go to Revive Local Paper on Instagram and Facebook to find out the locations of where you can pick the newspaper up at. I don't have it on the top of my head right now, but we are probably in like 17, I want to say 18 now, different locations in the city of Philadelphia where you can pick the newspaper. The newspaper is just like the newsletter. It only comes out once a month. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate that.
I just want to say, I'm going to have to slow that audio down.
I do apologize.
I know, I'm like, you slow down on the radio.
At the beginning, you
Yeah, I was
like
going to
the
say, you
radio.
ain't got to rush with us.
Yeah.
She on the radio, she got to get it in and out. They can see you on here. They can see you. They can see you. I don't have a face for radio.
I'm everywhere. Just go to reviveisalive.com. All of it will be there. Period. All of the stuff that I just talked about will be at reviveisalive.com for sure. I'm your girl POC. You good?
Yeah. So this is More You Can Handle podcast.
And again, I'm plugging my merchandise. Reviveisalive.com shop. Today, hit the shop tab. All of that.
My
We got
first June
Juneteenth
t-shirt.
merchandise. We got tons of different merchandise that will help you to motivate you to get through your dailies. You know what I'm saying? Because we are a daily thing ourselves.
I'm black, y'all.
24/7 and 3 p.m. I'm black as black.
Yeah.
Black, y'all. It was only black people understand that. Put your hat back on. You ain't get it. You ain't get it. You ain't get it.
Because all I hear is, yeah, I'm licking your balls. I'm just saying.
Then she goes left every time.
What is that scene? That scene goes with that movie.
Oh my God.
Everybody remembers that.
Oh, Once again, I
And it's
am.
crazy that his team showed up at that particular time. That's something that would happen amongst us. It was like, really, dog? That's what you're doing for work?
That's crazy.
Again, I am 22 times the one who listens to everybody. Yo.
The fact that every time y'all introduce yourselves, y'all laugh.
Because we don't know what the other one is going to say.
I make it up every time. We all make up our intros like every time.
Besides the standard part.
We got certain things that stand in, we always add in a little
I was
curveball.
being nice today.
Yes,
Thank you for being like JC. I know you can go left. Go ahead. Your turn, JC. Go ahead.
I guess you're running the show now. I'm JC the comedian, aka one of the melodic entertainer. It's Stripper Still Your Girl, but I make her laugh first.
And if you don't know now, you know it's your boy RC, aka 6'9", aka yes, I'm 6'9" laying down. Oh, and before we go, we want to promote one more time. More Than You Can Handle with a Kink.
June 1st,
Get your tickets.
BYOB. Ain't no 2-drink minimum.
And we got parking, y'all. Come on.
Yes.
And thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate the questions, the engagement. That's something I do. So I appreciate the questions. Thank you for asking the question. Thank you for listening. All that good stuff. So shout out to you all. Appreciate that.
And we out. Thank you.